Unfinished business. The ghost writer of your life. The courtroom doesn't exist, but I am still defending myself. Unfinished business. The ghost writer of your life. You think you are writing your life. You think your desires are yours. You think your ambitions are yours. You think your fantasies are yours. They are not. A ghost is writing. A rejection happened. A humiliation happened. An insult happened. A comparison happened. A wound happened. And then the ghost moved in. Now every chapter of your life is secretly being written by that wound. You see a Harley Davidson. The ghost writes. You see a beautiful woman. The ghost writes. You think about money. The ghost writes. You look into the mirror. The ghost writes. The tragedy is not that the ghost exists. The tragedy is that you think the handwriting is yours. The rich girl rejected you. Years later, you think, I want a beautiful wife. Maybe, or maybe the ghost wants evidence. Evidence that the rejection was wrong. A relative insults your financial status. Years later, you think, I want to become wealthy. Maybe, or maybe the ghost wants revenge. Do you see? The desire may look new, but the author is old. The future appears to be calling you. In reality, the past is pulling you. That is why it is called the ghost writer of your life. Because the life appears to be about tomorrow. But the script was written years ago. The courtroom doesn't exist, but I am still defending myself. This one is even more brutal. Because you are standing in a courtroom that vanished years ago. The rich girl rejected you. Case opened. The relative mocked you. Case opened. Someone called you unattractive. Case opened. And from that day onward, you became a lawyer. Not a man, a lawyer. Every achievement becomes evidence. Every gym workout becomes evidence. Every rupee becomes evidence. Every attractive woman becomes evidence. Every success becomes evidence. Evidence for what? Evidence that you are worthy. Evidence that they were wrong. Evidence that you matter. Evidence that you are enough. But there is a problem. There is no judge. There is no jury. There is no prosecutor. There is no trial. The courtroom disappeared years ago. Only the lawyer remains. Still collecting evidence. Still preparing arguments. Still rehearsing speeches. Still trying to win a case nobody is hearing. Look at your Harley fantasy. You are wearing sunglasses. You are successful. People are looking. People are impressed. People are shocked. What is that? It is not transportation. It is not a motorcycle. It is closing argument. You are standing before an imaginary jury saying, see, I told you I was enough. And this is why the mind never stops. Because the lawyer can never win. How can he? There is no courtroom. There is nobody to declare victory. Nobody to hand him the verdict. Nobody to say, congratulations, you have finally proven yourself. The lawyer is chasing a verdict that reality was never planning to deliver. The deepest realization is this. The rich girl is gone. The relative is living his life. The people who insulted you have forgotten what they said. But every day, you resurrect them. You call them into court. You place them on the witness stand. You replay the evidence. You continue the trial. And one day, if you are fortunate, you may discover something shocking. You were never trapped by the rejection. You were never trapped by the insult. You were never trapped by the humiliation. You were trapped by the need to obtain a verdict from people who were never qualified to judge you in the first place. And when that is seen deeply enough, the lawyer retires. The courtroom disappears. The ghosts lose their job. And for the first time in years, there is nobody left to prove anything to. You think these are unresolved issues. They are not. They are unfinished wars. A man can forget an event. He cannot forget a war. The rich girl rejected you 5 years ago. The event lasted a few minutes. The war was lasted 5 years. The relative mocked your financial status. The event lasted a sentence. The war has lasted years. Someone told you that you were unattractive. The event took seconds. The war is still being fought every time you look in a mirror. You keep saying, why does this thought keep coming back? Because it was never a thought. It was an identity. The mind does not replay things that are finished. Have you noticed that? You don't replay yesterday's breakfast. You don't replay the color of a random car that passed you last week. You don't replay a stranger who walked by. Why? Because there is no psychological charge. There is no unfinished business. The mind only replays things that became attached to me, not the event. The image of yourself that was wounded by the event. Look carefully. When the rich girl rejected you, what actually hurt? Was it the girl? No. Millions of women exist. You didn't know most of them. It wasn't the girl. What was wounded was, I am not enough. And from that day onward, a secret project began. The project was not marriage, the project was revenge. Not necessarily revenge against her, revenge against reality itself. You wanted reality to come back one day and say, sorry, we made a mistake. You were enough all along. That is what the beautiful wife fantasy is, not love, vindication. The same thing happened with money. A relative said, you are nothing compared to me. The statement lasted seconds, but a psychological contract was signed. Without your awareness, the contract said, one day I will become richer than you. Now every expensive car, luxury watch, mansion, Harley Davidson, business success story, and billionaires become evidence in an ongoing court case. You think you are admiring the Harley, you are not. The Harley is a witness. The witness is being called to testify in a trial that began years ago. Look at what happened today. You saw a Harley Davidson. Immediately the movie started. 10 years later, cool glasses, power, respect, success, people staring, the relative watching, the girl watching, everyone finally realizing your greatness. Notice something. The Harley wasn't the desire, the scene was. And the scene wasn't the desire. The emotional payoff was. The emotional payoff was, now they see. This is why the fantasies never end. Because they were never about motorcycles, never about money, never about women, never about muscles, never about status. They were about a wounded self-image trying to repair itself. And self-image is a bottomless pit. Feed it one victory and it demands another. Feed it ₹1,000,000 and it wants 10 million. Feed it a beautiful girlfriend and it wants a more beautiful one. Feed it admiration and it wants worship. The beast never says, thank you, I am full. Now come the deeper illusion. You think, if I become successful enough, these thoughts will stop. No, because success doesn't solve psychological wounds. Success merely changes the costume worn by those wounds. The poor man says, I'll be happy when I make money. The rich man says, I'll be happy when I make more. The unmarried man says, I'll be happy when I find someone. The married man says, I'll be happy when she understands me. The mechanism remains identical. You said something very important. You said, these memories are dead data. Exactly. The girl is gone. The relative sentence is gone. The moment is gone. The room is gone. The year is gone. The event literally does not exist. Yet something remains alive. What remains alive? Not the event, the interpretation. Not the wound, the identity built around the wound. This is why the thoughts appear while bathing, while walking, while sitting alone, while looking in the mirror. Because reality becomes quiet enough for you to hear the machinery. Most people mistake silence for peace. Silence is often when you first hear the noise. The real question is not, how do we stop these thoughts? The real question is, who is the person these thoughts are defending? Look closely. Every recurring fantasy in your life points to a character who wants to be admired, wanted, respected, successful, powerful, beautiful, validated. The thoughts are bodyguards, protecting a fictional king. The moment you begin to see this directly, not intellectually, but directly, something strange happens. The Harley becomes just a motorcycle. The beautiful girl becomes just a woman. The millionaire relative becomes just a man. The rejection becomes just a memory. And the fantasies begin losing their oxygen, not because you forced them away, but because you finally saw what they were made of. The deepest insight may be this: the rich girl did not impress you, the relative did not impress you, the comment about your looks did not impress you. The prison was built afterward, brick by brick, fantasy by fantasy, scene by scene, for years. And every day the mind whispers, one more victory and you will finally be free. But the truth is almost the opposite. You become free the moment you stop asking life to reverse a verdict that was delivered years ago. Because life never intended to deliver a verdict about your worth in the first place. Imagine a man carrying a backpack. He has been carrying it for so many years that he no longer knows it is there. He thinks the weight he feels is life. He thinks the tiredness is life. He thinks the tension is life. He thinks the anxiety is life. One day he sits down and opens the backpack. Inside are strange objects, a rejection from 5 years ago, a relative's insult, a comment about his appearance, a dream of proving everyone wrong, a fantasy of being admired, a fantasy of being envied, a fantasy of being desired. None of them are alive, they are all dead. But every morning he takes them out and polishes them, he sharpens them, he studies them, he imagines conversations with them, he imagines victories over them. Then he puts them back into the backpack and wonders why the backpack is heavy. The illusion is not that the backpack exists. The illusion is that you think the contents are important. A rejection happened, fine. An insult happened, fine. Someone thought you were unattractive, fine. These are ordinary events. Billions of people have experienced them. Yet your mind promoted them into sacred events, into defining events, into destiny shaping events, into unfinished business. Look carefully. A rich girl rejected you. The mind says, one day I will show her. A relative insulted your financial status. The mind says, one day I will show him. Someone called you unattractive. The mind says, one day I will show them. Notice the pattern. Different faces, same sentence, different stories, same wound. Different movies, same director. The director is called, I will prove myself. Now let me tell you the most dangerous part. The mind disguises revenge as ambition. That is why it is difficult to see. If the mind said, I want revenge, you would immediately see it. Instead it says, I want success. I want a beautiful wife. I want a Harley. I want wealth. I want respect. The packaging changes. The poison remains the same. Imagine a man who spends 10 years building a palace. Every brick is placed while thinking of the people who doubted him. Every room is designed for the people who rejected him. Every window is positioned for the people who insulted him. After 10 years, he completes the palace. Then he discovers something terrifying. The people aren't there. They moved on years ago. The audience he was performing for left the theater long ago. And now he is standing alone on a stage, still acting, still proving, still explaining to empty seats. This is the illusion. The subconscious mind keeps bringing these thoughts up because it believes there is still a trial taking place. It believes the verdict has not yet been delivered. It believes one more success will settle the matter, one more achievement, one more woman, one more compliment, one more car, one more victory. But look at your own life. How many times has the mind promised, after this, you'll finally feel complete? And how many times did that completion last? A day? An hour? A few minutes? Then the next target appeared. Because the target was never the target. A thirsty man is drinking salt water. Every sip promises relief. Every sip increases the thirst. That is the nature of psychological completion. The fantasy says, one more scene. Life gives the scene. Then the fantasy says, actually one more. And again, and again, and again. The deeper truth is this. The Harley is innocent. The beautiful woman is innocent. The money is innocent. The success is innocent. They are not the problem. The illusion is believing that they are carrying the medicine for a wound they never created. The next time one of these thoughts appears while bathing, walking, or staring into a mirror, don't immediately enter the movie. Just look at it. Almost like watching an old actor arrive on stage and say, ha, the man who wants to prove himself has arrived again. Not the rich relative, not the girl, not the insult, just the ancient character, the one who has been trying to win a case that nobody is prosecuting anymore, the one who keeps preparing evidence for a courtroom that no longer exists, the one who keeps rehearsing speeches for an audience that already went home. And perhaps the greatest tragedy is not that he has suffered, it is that he has spent years chasing a freedom that was available the moment he stopped trying to prove the case. Perhaps the greatest insight is not that you have unresolved thoughts. It is that you have been unknowingly living for a verdict. For years, the mind has been saying, one day I'll become successful enough. One day I'll become attractive enough. One day I'll make enough money. One day they'll see. One day they'll regret it. One day I'll prove myself. But every one of these thoughts is born from the same source, unfinished business. The rich girl is gone. The relatives' words are gone. The insults are gone. The moments are gone. The courtroom is gone. The audience is gone. Yet the mind continues collecting evidence for a trial that no longer exists. Every fantasy of future success, every imaginary conversation, every scene where people admire you, every dream of proving someone wrong, they are not signs of freedom. They are signs that the lawyer is still working, the ghost writer is still writing, the unfinished business is still directing the script. The illusion is not that these thoughts appear. The illusion is believing that their resolution lies in the future. It does not. No amount of money can settle a psychological court case. No beautiful woman can settle it. No Harley Davidson can settle it. No achievement can settle it. Because the verdict you seek was never available from the world. And the moment this is seen deeply, something extraordinary happens. The Harley becomes a motorcycle. The beautiful woman becomes a woman. Money becomes money. Success becomes success. They stop being evidence. They stop being weapons. They stop being compensation. And for the first time, life is no longer about proving. It is simply about living. The war ends not when you win. The war ends when you see there was never anything left to prove.